3, 2, 1, and we are live and in living color. Benona Buck podcast number 15. We're so glad to be here with everybody, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Let's get ready to rumble. Okay, so we are here with Stella. Stella's with me, my dog. And Mountain Man is joining us as our featured guest on the Benona Buck podcast number 15 today. And we are here with the always lovely Rose Clarity. Say hi, everybody.
Hello. Hello.
All right. So, Rose, let's do a sound check.
Let's do a quick sound
Let's
check.
have Mountain Man.
Yeah.
I think we can hear everybody. I heard Mountain Man say hello. Okay. All right. So,
I'm here.
Mountain Man, this is your first time on the Benona Buck podcast. How the hell are you doing?
First time on any podcast. Everybody sounds good.
Yeah, your first time on any podcast. So, to give a little, tell us about your unique living situation. You don't need to go into too much detail. You don't need to say where exactly you live, but give us a little idea of what it's like living, in the mountains, up in a cabin in the mountains, basically living off the land.
Yeah. Living off the grid is the most amazing experience I ever had in my life. I mean, I love it. And I would never change it for anything unless I could come visit you.
Is there a lot of women? Is there a lot of women out in the woods?
No. But no. It don't matter. After when you turn 50 and stuff, you throw all that away anyway, so It doesn't matter.
You mean there's none of them free-range wild women out there in the woods?
No, I don't find any free-range women out here. Unless you have the electric forest going on. Then you never know who shows up.
Okay, so then when electric forest is going on, then the women come into the mountains, they're wasted, hammered drunk, and you don't know who's going to be there.
Right.
Okay.
So you got to protect your place.
Yeah, so prior to the podcast, I was talking to the Mountain Man, and he was telling me basically that he's just locking it down right now through the winter because there's so much snow, he doesn't know what to do with. He's never seen a winter this dramatic. He doesn't know how he's going to plow all the snow. 100 inches of snow have already hit in the deep mountains. So how's it going over there with the snow situation?
You chip away at it little by little.
Didn't you say you just had 5 inches of snow come down at once?
Yeah. I don't know where you're getting the 100 inches from, but yeah, we had 5 inches of snow come down, but now we're surviving. We're doing all right. I usually don't go. I couldn't even tell you the last time I was at a store.
That is amazing. Yeah, and your situation, you have a beautiful situation. There's a lot of people that wish that they could live in a cabin in the mountains in the woods like you.
Right.
That's why I think it's going to be interesting to have your perspective. A man who the Amish live near you, and you work with the Amish and the Native Americans up in the mountains.
Tell you they're smart people that you can learn a lot from them.
Yeah. Okay, well, perfect. Good to know. Nice to have you on the pod. And Rose Clarity, how's your day going today?
Pretty good.
What the hell have you been up to?
Pretty good. Finding good articles and lists and all sorts of things for our audience tonight.
Oh, thank you so much, Rose. You keep us so entertained here on the pod. Do you want to start off? You said you had some good articles. Do you want to read us a news article?
We could do a news article.
Yeah, let's roll.
Do you want to do the one about the Paris?
Yeah, that's cool. Paris. I love Paris. I love the people of France.
Okay, well, I thought it'd be interesting since President Biden has decided to get us back into the Paris Climate Accord.
Thank you, President Biden.
Yes.
Such a good man.
I would find an article that went in depth into why it's bad. This is an older article.
Oh, it's bad?
But I think
It's bad to be in the Paris Climate Accord? Why is that?
Yes.
Why, hold on, Mountain Man, why is it bad to be in the Paris Climate Agreement?
No, let Rose finish. I'm agreeing with her 100% already, and she hasn't even said a word about it.
Okay, Rose, go ahead.
No, I figured I'd go find an article that talks about exactly why, because, you know, I'm not exactly the brightest person. I can't put it all into words myself, so I figured I'd find somebody who is able to articulate it better than me.
Okay, so what's your source and what's the article titled?
Okay, this is a November 28, 2018 article by Tom Rogan, Washington Examiner.
Okay.
And this is titled, "Even the EU is treating the Paris Climate Agreement as a joke."
Oh, okay. Go ahead. I'm interested now. That got me very interested. Why would the EU treat it as a joke? Those ninnies. Okay, go ahead.
While the Paris Climate Agreement has always been fundamentally flawed, we've just gained new evidence saying as much. According to a new United Nations report, just about every major nation is failing to achieve its carbon reduction target under the Paris Accord. One of the key culprits, the European Union. The UN notes that 3 recent studies of EU emissions indicate that the political bloc will fail to reach its carbon reduction target. While
that's
the report
crazy.
offers optimism
Hey.
that the EU will take action to meet its obligations, increasing public anger
Alexa,
over gas
stop.
prices and other energy costs. What?
I had to tell Alexa to stop. She was playing that Top Gun song. Sorry.
Okay.
Keep going.
Over gas prices and other energy cost considerations make me far more skeptical of that. Germany, for example, continues to rely heavily on dirty coal. This situation is made much worse by Chancellor Angela Merkel's rejection of nuclear energy.
I thought Germany was like 100% renewable energy, and that they had to buy all their oil from Russia or something.
They do.
Yeah.
The country of Germany is the only country in the world that does not have oil or coal.
Amazing. Okay, continue, Rose.
Okay. Then there are the familiar carbon emitter powerhouses, the U.S., China, India, and Russia. While all these nations continue to spray out carbon, I want to pay particular attention to China here. While China continues to emit twice as much carbon as any other nation, many Western observers now claim that China takes its pledge to reduce carbon emissions very seriously. But the facts patently do not bear this out. China systematically lies about its carbon emissions, and its economic model remains dependent on sustained growth at high rates. All of this conflicts with Xi Jinping's pledge to former President Barack Obama to attempt to reduce emissions from 2030 forwards. That pledge was held up by the Obama administration as a major foreign policy success. Sadly, with many Obama foreign policy accomplishments, it was actually a sad joke. So what's going on here? Ultimately, it's a failure of compliance. In a most basic sense, it doesn't take a genius to realize that if European democracies are willing to breach their formalized commitments, so too will authoritarian states like China and Russia. Until new technologies exist that can protect energy consumption with less damage to the environment, national governments will continue to be reluctant to pummel their populations with energy policies that raise costs and hurt the economy. Now, note here that the green energy economy
time out for 1 second.
remains a boondoggle.
Hey.
Yeah.
Time out for 1 second. The bird is
All
howling.
I hear is the morning doves in the background.
Yeah.
It's overrunning Rose.
Yeah, hey. Pete, quiet down over there. Okay, yeah, my dove is singing. I'm so sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Note here that the green energy economy remains a boondoggle, resting on government subsidies and inefficient employment structures. In short, the Paris Climate Accord is far less impressive than many would have us believe. Now, this article was given to me by our friend Elite Edge. because I asked him to find me a good article for this. So
I think what we need to have, we need opposing viewpoints. Okay,
Yeah.
right now we have all the same. So I'm going to be the opposing view and say that I think the
Yeah.
Paris Climate Agreement is such a good thing. All this great green energy. How do we know China's lying? Who is this guy calling it a boondoggle? How do I know that what that guy said is true? What is the
Here's the
fact?
thing.
What does all the very trusted fact check
you
organizations say?
want to play that side, but you don't want to let anybody talk. You're acting just like the liberal lefties right
That's
now.
what I said. Yeah. How do we know it's even real?
Okay, here's the other part, and I think Rose will agree with me, is that we will never, ever get away from fossil fuels. Never. It will never happen.
You sound like you might have had some experience with fossil fuels in your past.
I do. And the thing is that if you look at what plastics, what toothpaste, what mouthwash, anything, it's all part of a petroleum. You don't want Vaseline anymore? It's a petroleum product. You
I
will
love
never
Vaseline.
get rid of it. But the new green energy deal is going to cost us $93 trillion.
Where are we
to
gonna
do it.
Where are we gonna come up with that kind of money?
Borrow it from China.
Well, there you go. Well, that
Here's
makes
the
sense
question.
then.
Here's a question that'll appeal to the left. If you don't have fossil fuels and petroleum products, how are you going to get your little gloves and your plastic that you're covering everything in now that we have
Right.
COVID?
Exactly.
I think that's a good point.
It'll never happen. You're going to make it out of hemp?
They're gonna have
It could
to.
happen.
Yep.
The whole United States would be nothing but hemp farms.
Yeah.
Indeed.
That's interesting. Well, that was an interesting article, Rose. Wow. It's interesting to hear because when I watch the news, CNN, MSNBC, the great Rachel Maddow,
Wait a
all
minute.
I
wait a
hear.
minute. Wait a minute. Let's go back there one sentence. Did you just say news and brought up CNN
Yeah.
and MS?
The most trusted name in news.
Playing devil's advocate right now.
When I watch all these great news organizations, the most trusted name in news, CNN, they tell me we are going to be greener and better. But then I hear other people like you guys say the air is cleaner than it's ever been, the water's cleaner than it's ever been, and we just had President Trump. So that's weird that we had President Trump
when
and
when they did the big lockdown across the United States with the COVID and everything, you've seen how everything cleaned up. The oceans, the lakes, the Great Lakes, everything. It all cleaned up just from emissions because everybody was locked down. It cleaned up within a month.
that's amazing. So we need less emissions then.
Right.
Here's the thing, though. They want to put the U.S. in the same boat as places like China and India and other places that are still filthy with their
Right.
carbon emissions. And they want to hold us to the same standard, while these other places, they'll be in the climate accord maybe, but they won't adhere to the rules.
Mm-hmm.
They want to make us do all the work for the whole world.
Yep. Totally
They
agree.
want to hold the U.S. entirely accountable.
Well,
And you also got to factor in, what time of year is it right now? It's winter time. How many people, including people on the other side, people on the left, heat the house with propane or natural gas or oil or whatever, you know?
mm-hmm.
These people would freeze.
Well, if you're a
President
patriot,
Joe
you should go
Biden
out and turn your
mentioned
gas
something
valve
about
off.
eliminating fossil fuels in the next
That was funny.
4 years.
So the mountain man says if you're a patriot, you should go out and turn your gas valve off. And prior to the podcast, he was telling me he heats his cabin in the woods with wood.
Yeah.
He heats it with wood. Maybe we need to go back to that. But then if you're cutting down trees, will the people on the left be okay with cutting down
The
trees?
thing about wood is acid rain. Over in Britain, this is me remembering facts out of my ass because I don't have an article to go look at. But over in Britain, they didn't have problems with acid rain for years. But then everybody started switching to wood and pellet stoves to keep their houses warm. And next thing you know, people are going out while it's raining and getting burns on their skin from the rain.
Oh, they are?
Because that soot goes up in the air. And do you know what lye is made of?
What's it made out of?
Well, it would be the potassium type of lye. It's made of wood, ashes, and water. You can make lye with wood, ash, and water. So, if you've got that soot coming up from your fireplaces into the clouds, what's raining down?
It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men.
You've got a whole city of people burning wood. You're going to get lye rain.
Oh, that's not good.
I have to agree
No,
with
not.
Rose on that, but my closest neighbor is a half a mile away, and I might go through 3 truckloads of wood a winter. If it's a really cold winter, right now I don't even. There's some days I don't even have a fire because it's 40 degrees.
Well,
So,
this was in, I believe, London.
Mountain Man,
A
what's
city
your
like London.
what's your response to Rose saying that you're going to poison your neighbors with acid lye rain?
No. It takes a lot of people burning a lot of wood for that to
Right,
happen. And
right. No, I'll agree with Rose on that. But any rain that comes down has a form of acid rain to it.
Oh, it does?
Yes, it does. It's not totally clean water. It's acid rain, but only parts per billion are minuscule. But I understand what she's saying, and I agree. If everybody heated with wood, like back in the day, but what did our ancestors do 100 years ago?
Right.
Everybody heated with wood.
Think about an entire city of people burning wood like that.
Oh, yeah. But you know what? People live in the city I really don't care about.
Yeah.
Whoa! They could just roll over and take it like a man and jail or prison. I don't care.
Yeah, that's an
I'm
interesting.
by myself, and but the other part is like you also get acid rain if, see, I'm in like more of a pine forest. So when rain hits the pine trees and it drips out the pine trees, it multiplies the amount of acid in the water in the rain just from being on a pine, bough or whatever.
Yeah.
It magnifies it a lot. But if you're gonna do everything green and all the electric cars, what's gonna charge the electric cars? What charges the electronic grid? What charges
Solar power?
DTE Energy does nothing but our cousin Ron. He says, I push coal in a hole. That's what he does because it's all coal and it's all into train cars and it gets dumped to make heat and produce energy.
Buck, you want to talk about solar power?
Solar power
needs batteries. Batteries are from lithium mines. Lithium mines are absolutely terrible for the environment.
Currently, they're from lithium.
Thank you very much, Rose. Yes.
Currently, they're from lithium, but we're working on salt. We're working on sodium-style batteries and other types of battery and energy storage technology. So, yes, I agree. Lithium is very, very dirty.
Will be up fucking sky high.
Yeah, lithium is very dirty, but that technology is progressing, just like the United States is progressing. Lots of progress under our great President Joseph R. Biden. Yep,
okay, I'm almost done with this one now that you just said that.
Yep.
Okay, no, I I worked in the oil fields.
Yeah, you did?
Yes, I did. For 6 years. And I tell you, that was the safest place ever that I really felt comfortable in working at. It really was. There's so many monitors, so many tripwires, so many everything. I hated the call-outs at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. You might not get home until the next night at 8 o'clock at night. But it was, you just had to fix problems. Everything anywhere is going to have a problem. But I had to watch over 6 plants and 26 oil wells. So, you
like that.
You might get called out. It might be 40 miles away, and you got to get dressed, get ready. It's a snowstorm, middle of winter. It sucked, but that's what you did, and I absolutely really loved it because I went in and I could fix a problem, got everything up and going, and we're producing oil again.
How does solar work? How does solar work in the winter? Like if you get up and it's negative 10 degrees and you got to go work and do this thing.
I really don't think they have proven that yet, even though the last 10 years when they first came out with solar, they have improved it immensely. Solar has gotten a whole lot better. They're figuring it out, but the batteries are expensive as all get out.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have big charging stations.
Yeah, so for example, I have an all-electric zero-turn lawnmower, and I looked at replacing the lead-acid deep-cycle batteries with deep-cycle lithium-ion replacements. The batteries where I can get a lead-acid for $100 per battery, and it takes 4. The lithium-ion was $1,000 per battery.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
And they're just digging deep holes in the ground, trying to get the lithium and everything out. And you go by an oil well or you go past a pipeline, you would never even know it was there.
Yep. Elite Edge is on.
Everything is buried in the ground. It's no problem. It all works right. You just have to do your maintenance, which is all the time.
Yep.
But you just make sure everything is good and safe, or let's just say one plant, something happened really bad, I could kill half the community off.
Yeah.
You got to do maintenance.
That makes sense.
But that's going to be with anything. If you look at the windmill situation, which I think the windmills was the stupidest idea they ever had.
You don't like windmills?
No.
Why don't you like windmills?
They can take them and shove them up their rear end. Because windmills take more maintenance and it takes power to, do you know the big plant up in Ludington? All them windmills they have that you see, like going north on 31 and everything, they produce 1/4 of the power that one generator makes at the big pond.
Interesting.
And if you do the research and look it up, the big pond, when it pushes out the water to make the power and everything else.
You're talking about a hydroelectric plant, right?
Yes.
So you're comparing the wind. You're saying wind is far less efficient and much worse than hydroelectric power.
Because if the wind gets over 33 or 34 miles an hour, they have to shut them down and lock them up. They also take power to start up. Half the time when you're seeing them, they're running off from power, just making them look like they're moving, waiting for wind.
Really? I didn't know that.
Oh, I know a lot more than you think.
Wow.
They're not efficient at all.
So the conspiracy...
Solar is 10 times better.
The conspiracy theory now is the windmills are not even moving with wind. They're being powered to make us think that they're moving with wind.
why is that a conspiracy? I already know. I've been in the top of one. It's like 110 degrees because it's a generator.
Wow.
And you go up a long way.
That's the conspiracy
There's no
theory
conspiracy, that's fact.
now. Anytime.
Here's another thing that nobody even thinks about is the shelf life of these windmills and these solar panels, and what happens to them when they need to be replaced? Where do they go? Do they go in a dump somewhere? I don't think a lot of these materials are recyclable. And Elite Edge commented, said solar cells are made of rare metals, and there's no way to recycle it yet. So
no.
Yeah, and windmill blades are made of material they do not recycle either. They're just
they put them in the landfills.
Right.
They put them in the landfills.
And
I also used to work for the landfill.
Plastic in the ocean, but where do these things go when they're no longer usable?
Yep. Well, we're going to have to learn to recycle them. We need to learn to recycle them because this is what progress looks like. And you both need to just...
Or learn to make them that you can make them recyclable.
Yep.
Everything is a learning experience in life. Just like living in the mountains and a cabin in the woods, it's all experience, and you have to gain knowledge. And hopefully, they're still doing it. But no, the blades of the wind turbines are they're not recyclable. They go to a landfill. The ones up here.
Well, that's interesting. I'd like to see some sources on that. So if somebody can put a source on that in the comments, that would be fantastic. Elite Edge was making some really nice comments. The fans are starting to pour in now, Mountain Man. So fans, if you have any questions for the Mountain Man and all the great things he said, just put them in the comments and we'll ask him.
Hello.
So.
Yep.
Elite Edge is a buddy of mine. He's one of our top fans here.
Yep, the fans are pouring in. The comments are starting to pour in on YouTube. Hey, when you're popular, you're popular. Okay?
Okay.
So we have Elite Edge says they can reverse backfeed. It's a motor. Elite Edge says windmill blades are made of a material that they do not recycle either. They are just burying them in huge graveyards. Elite Edge, put some sources. Quote it. Give me some sources. And don't make it from Alex Jones, that evil man. Don't ever talk about band.video or Alex Jones again. So come to me with some good sources like Rachel Maddow or MSNDNC or CNN. That's the sources I want.
Those sources would never report that information, even if it was true.
No way. Thank you, Rose. Thank you. No way.
I don't want to hear Ben Shapiro. I don't want to hear Louder with Crowder. I just want Brian Stelter.
What about Tucker Carlson? He used to be good enough for CNN.
Tucker's okay. He's kind of in the middle, right? Yeah, give me some Tucker. Give me some sources on that, Elite Edge.
How about some Sean Hannity?
Nope, we don't take him. He's a white supremacist nationalist.
What about Laura Ingraham?
No, I don't even know who that is.
I wonder
really?
if you
never watched the Ingram angle?
No, I don't watch Fox News. Nope. So what else you got, Rose? You took us down this path, Rose. You took us down this crazy, wild path. What do you want to talk about next? You want to talk about music? You want to talk about?
Yeah, do you want to skip to our pop culture list for the night?
Yeah, let's do
let's do that.
Let's talk about some music. We have an aficionado right now. Mountain Man is from the 70s. That's
two aficionados here, so shush.
No, but you have a person. You're a child. Mountain Man is from the 70s. Yep.
My knowledge can rival that of people from the 70s, so.
All right, well, let's go.
Our pop culture list of the night comes from listverse.com. It's the top 15 albums of the 70s, brought to us by Jason Hirschhorn.
Oh, thank you, Jason.
Number 15 on this list is Sticky Fingers by the Rolling Stones.
Great song.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you want to
me to
sing part of it?
That's not a song. That is a album
No.
Yeah,
title.
do you want to sing any of it? Do you want to sing any of the songs from the Rolling Stones from their album?
I'm not certain which ones are on that one.
Say no on that one.
Okay, so you're not certain.
I think,
Okay.
no, Monkey Man's not on that one. Hold on.
Well, what's Jason have to say on this album?
Who?
Jason, the person who
Oh.
wrote the article.
Give me a moment. I'll tell you a good song from the album.
Okay.
So you want to know.
Yeah.
Can't You Hear Me Knocking? Brown Sugar, Wild Horses.
Oh, I love Wild Horses. Oh, that's a great
Yeah,
song.
those are the ones off the album that you would know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so back to the list. Jason has to say, the Rolling Stones came into their own in 1968 with Beggar's Banquet. With that album's Back Alley Blues, they refined this on Let It Bleed while adding gospel to their repertoire. But it wasn't until Sticky Fingers that they really figured out how to make an album. Sticky Fingers finds the band finally comfortable with their new lead guitarist, Mick Taylor. And with Mick and Keith at their misogynistic best, it only takes a few seconds of Brown Sugar to tell you that the Stones were ready for the 70s.
Okay, so Sticky Fingers was actually, I believe, their first album that they got signed to.
Yeah, I think it's one of their biggest, one of their breakout albums,
But
yeah.
it was the actual first album they signed with a record label.
Interesting.
Huh.
They were just a garage band before Sticky Fingers, eh?
Yeah, they played at bars, pubs, stuff like that.
Those are the best bands. I love bands that play at pubs.
Right.
All right, who's number 14? Are we doing the top 15? I forgot already.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
15.
Yeah, who's number 14? What's the album?
We're going to have a lot to say about this, I think.
Okay.
Number 14 is Imagine, John Lennon.
Oh, God.
I love John Lennon, and he would support me in all my views that I've said so far today.
Oh, you think?
Yep.
I think I agree with him more back on the Beatles song Revolution. If you go carrying pictures of Chairman Mao, you're not going to make it with anyone anyhow. You know?
All right.
Yeah. But when he comes into the whole no possessions and no religion, he can fuck off. It's a pretty song.
Did you ever see the original, wasn't it the Beatles? Or am I thinking Rolling Stones, where they had, like, on the cover, it only released for, like, only a few days, and then it got transferred to a different cover because it was, like, Murdered Babies or something? I remember seeing it on American Pickers.
American Pickers?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm a picker.
he picked the album. Hey, Pete, quiet down. My bird's hollering
I
again.
don't know which one you're thinking of, but I know that John Lennon had an album where him and Yoko appeared naked, and that had to be sold in a brown paper bag.
Yep. I remember that one.
Yeah.
I love Yoko.
I mean, you really couldn't see anything, but it was naked
Right.
bodies.
Right.
So I thought it was ridiculous.
I'll read what Jason had to say about this album.
Yeah, please.
John Lennon has made better albums as a solo artist, but few songs can match the honest utopian ideas of the title track, and it only gets better from there, as the album is filled with both popular Lennon songs and underappreciated ones. One can still find all the anger directed at Paul McCartney in How Do You Sleep, and to this day, Jealous Guy is as heartbreaking as it was back in 1971.
I guess he didn't like our friend Paul McCartney, huh? Darn.
Paul McCartney is one of the fakest leftists on this planet.
I didn't know he was a
And with
leftist.
all his money, wants to try to, act like we all need to be socialists.
Paul McCartney thinks we should be
Yeah,
socialists?
Paul McCartney likes his money.
Well, why
Paul
does he want us
McCartney
to be?
loves his money.
Why does he want us to be socialists then? So he wants to rule
I
us
don't
or
know.
something?
I think he thinks he would be protected from it. You know?
Okay.
I mean, this is the guy that was too cheap to bid on his own catalog,
Yep.
and then got pissed off at the guy who did buy it.
Yep. Michael Jackson.
Yep.
And then they killed him to get it back. Hey.
He didn't want to spare one fucking penny for the
And
damn
then they
album.
may have,
For the
people
damn
have
catalog.
said, I'm not saying it, but people have said that they killed him off to get that catalog back. Yep, I've heard people say that.
That is definitely a rumor that
Wait a
goes
minute.
around.
Did you see this on CNN, you libtard?
No, I haven't seen that, but
Oh.
I've heard it. It's been said by people. Yep.
Something I haven't heard, but
Yep,
then again.
they killed him off to
No,
take
it's
that
actually-
catalog.
It's actually something Michael Jackson said in the months before he died, that they were trying to kill him for his Beatles catalog.
Oh, there you go.
Sony wanted it.
I'll be darned.
So
Sony
there's
wanted it, and now Sony has it.
there you go. So there's a true reference. What I said is not false. Wonderful.
Who owns Sony? Where's their headquarters at?
Owns?
Japan.
Is it in Japan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next album.
Yeah.
Number 13 is L.A. Woman by The Doors.
I love the Doors.
Oh, yeah.
Want to sing some songs from that album, Rose?
Love Her Madly and Riders on the Storm are from that album.
Oh yeah, sing that Riders on the
listened
Storm.
I listened to that at Marshville Dam at a bonfire back in high school. We used to back
Oh, yeah?
up cars and people would play it and stuff, and that was, oh yeah.
That's cool. What else did you guys do down at the dam? I didn't know you had parties down there.
Well, yeah, but I mean, back when you started growing up and stuff, you guys all turned into a bunch of sissies. So,
No, I'm asking you. Yeah, what were parties like down at Marshville Dam? What was it like?
Oh, it was great. I mean, that's the one thing that you know, probably why my back is screwed up now, because if the cops would try to bust it, you grabbed a keg of beer and you took off running through the woods. Whether it was full, three-quarters full, half full, you grabbed it and ran.
You know what
You're gonna let them get that.
You know what I always wonder? Now going down there when I was a kid, when I lived over in that area, I would
Right.
always see a ton of fish in that area, in the Marshville area, like big old fish. Why is there so
Yeah.
many fish in that little creek?
That's the main stream that comes out of Stony Lake, out
Oh,
of Stony Creek.
gotcha.
It runs all through there, and it turns into Piper's Creek, and then that's where they go to spawn. A lot of it had to do with this gentleman called Wesley Halls, and he had ponds, and he would like basically incubate the eggs from fish and stuff, and then he had different things, and he would release them into the creek, his creek, and they would get to Piper's Creek, which went to Stony Creek, and they have a memory, and they come back up to spawn every year.
That's interesting.
So that's why there is so much, because they don't really, I mean, unless you have a true lake fish that spawns in a lake, which there's not many, everything runs up, and the salmon will run up, they'll spawn, and then they die.
That's really interesting. I always wondered, because there were times I would be out in those woods just looking in the creek, and it looked fake. There were so many fish. The creek was so
Oh,
clear.
yeah.
It wasn't
Yep.
extremely deep. You could see down to the bottom, and it was so clear, and there was tons of fish. And I
I know. You throw a stick of dynamite in there, and you got to be downstream to be able to scoop them all up.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay. All right,
Okay,
Rose. Go ahead.
Elite had sent me some links
Mm-hmm.
via, alternative methods.
The
Because
stuff.
they won't show up in the chat, so
That's the
I'll
stu-
send them to you.
That's the stuff that'll get us banned off YouTube.
Yeah.
I'll send them to you, Buck, later. So.
Okay.
Okay, so what's 13?
Back to our list.
Yes.
Oh, here's what Jason Hirsch, I think is, what was his name? Hold on. Jason Hirschhorn. Let's
Just
see
say
what
Jason. We know
Hirschhorn
Jason.
has to say
Jason.
about The Doors' LA Woman. The last record The Doors recorded with Jim Morrison, but sadly not the last record they recorded, LA Woman contains the best batch of songs the band wrote since their debut. The record includes classic cuts like Love Her Madly, the title track, and probably the best song the band wrote, Riders on the Storm. It's clear from this album that Jim Morrison had more left in the tank before he died, and that realization only gets sadder as the years go on. Yep.
That's nice. I can agree with that. That's very good.
Okay, so number 12.
Well, do you have any? Do you have any favorite songs by the Doors? What's your thoughts on the Doors, Rose?
Any Doors.
Yeah, Doors.
Any Doors song. Any Doors song.
Do you love the Doors? Do you like the Doors? What's your thoughts?
I do like the Doors, but I like Led Zeppelin. I'm waiting for that one to come out.
Right. I'm more a Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd kind of person.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd, I'm sorry, Pink Floyd, that's the one I meant, because if you take Pink Floyd The Wall and you start it the same exact time as you start, is it
The Wizard of
Alice
Oz.
in Wonderland?
The Wizard of Oz. It's called Dark Side of Oz when you do that.
Yeah.
Or Dark Side of the Rainbow.
The Wizard of Oz, and yeah, and then when you hit those two together, you would swear to God they were written together, and they weren't.
Well, hey,
they were years and years apart.
Mountain Man, if you actually look it up in YouTube at some point in time, if you have time to do this, look up Dark Side of the Rainbow, and it's available on YouTube, already synced up for you.
Wow.
Really? Oh, I watched it 2 times down in at the Frauenthal Theater. One time it was in 3D, and I was tripping, and that was really weird.
That would be terrifying, especially if it was in those times on the things that y'all used to do back then.
It was awesome. It was great. I mean, that is the coolest thing ever.
Cool.
It literally matches like they were made for each other.
That's very interesting, Rose. Put a note, or maybe, hey, Elite Edge, can you find this link and put it? I don't know if you can do the link. Never mind. It's probably blocking you.
No.
We'll find the link and we'll put the link to that.
Anybody who's listening,
yeah,
at some time in the future, look up Dark Side of the Rainbow on YouTube, and you can find it already set up for you.
Yep,
nice.
Cool. Great.
I've watched it twice.
What's next? What do we got?
Number 12. I'm going to say I both love and hate this artist for different reasons. After the Gold Rush, Neil Young.
Oh, Neil Young. My kind of guy. My kind of political views.
I like his music. But, yeah.
Awesome.
He's a whore.
The song After the Gold Rush is actually a really pretty song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, musically, the content of the song, the lyrics I can't speak on, but the music is really nice.
I think albums from the 70s are... I don't feel like it was as sellout as it was. Once you started getting to the 80s... And we did 80s. There's some great 80s rock. There's some great 80s hair bands.
Okay,
but when you think about it...
Wait a minute. I was in high school in the 80s, and the music sucked.
It did suck compared to the 70s, right. So 70s...
was where it was at.
70s was not... 70s was sellout. And not less sellout.
What do you want to watch? A flock of seagulls?
70s? Late 60s and 70s was like the birth of that really great, like, rock,
Yep, and it wasn't as, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it was real. It was real rock and roll. It was real music, and then it became more.
It was about the love of making music.
Yep.
Right.
Not just we're gonna throw out an album. We're not talking like a Justin Bieber or whatever the hell his name is.
I love Justin Bieber.
Right.
Stuff like that. Yeah, but you do that. You're kind of
program beats and get some electronic drums in here so you can sing over them. Right.
Yep. I mean, even compared to the 80s rock, the 70s rock is real. It's
90s
authentic.
rock was better.
90s was good.
Yeah, 80s.
I don't like the stuff that gets, like, there's certain 90s groups that I don't like that
I love
much.
I love Metallica from the 90s. 90s Metallica was amazing.
Yeah. Okay, I'll say the name of the group and everybody's going to hate me. But I don't like Nirvana.
Oh, okay. I don't think anyone's going to hate you.
It's just the thing with me. I don't like Nirvana. They get the most attention of all those 90s rock groups, but I don't like them.
I like punk rock more in the 90s.
I never liked them. I never liked them from day one.
Right.
I like punk rock.
I didn't agree with it. That was
But I like Bush. I like Soundgarden.
Mm-hmm.
I like Collective Soul, Alice in Chains. All that stuff's great.
I listen to mostly like country and stuff, but I still like listening to the older Train. Oh shoot, what did he play? Oh gosh, he went on his own. He did the 3 a.m. song. Soundgarden, I believe.
Huh.
Rob
Thomas.
Rob Thomas.
There you go.
Okay, Matchbox 20.
Yep, Matchbox
20. They were a good group.
Yeah, they're
now
good.
I listen to a lot of like Aaron Lewis, Chris Stapleton, stuff like that. That's getting back to more meaningful music versus headbanging against the wall.
They lost that thread, and music's just gone all to hell now.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Like there was hope in those days that good music would come back, but no.
Oh yeah.
Let's say so. Go ahead, Rose. What's next?
Now it's being played on classic rock channels. Makes you feel old.
Well, they've amended the term classic rock to include music that was made later than like the 70s or the 80s.
Oh yeah.
But it's of a similar genre. So now it's a genre like R&B, you know?
Right.
Well, classic rock. I think the 90s is classic rock now. To some people, you know.
Yeah, even Foo Fighters, they're still going.
Yep.
They're considered classic rock.
Yeah, it's 2021, so 1990 was 31 years ago. I guess that is classic.
Yeah. Right. Okay, I'll read why After the Gold Rush is on here.
Mm-hmm.
After recording two of his most famous albums, Everyone Knows This Is Nowhere and Deja Vu, Neil Young released his definitive album, After the Gold Rush. The amount of music inspired by this recording appear endless, and so many of Young's classic songs are here. Album highlights include After the Gold Rush, Only Love Can Break Your Heart, Don't Let It Bring You Down, and most famous of them all, Southern Man, which, as many of you know, was the catalyst for some famous Leonard Skinner hits.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You gotta love you some Leonard Skinner.
Yeah, people talk about these, what is it, like the rap rivalries these days, where somebody will talk bad about somebody else in their song, and it'll go, oh, what they say and what they say. But Neil Young and Leonard Skinner were doing that stuff back in the day.
Yeah, but, I mean, how did they come up, do you know how they came up with the band name of Leonard Skinner? Because I do.
I believe it was the name of their gym teacher.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Name of their gym teacher.
At my school,
Ronnie
Van
Zant, and they died in a plane crash and stuff, and then his brother took over for Leonard Skinner, and they're still playing. with limited members, but they replaced them all and everything. But he used to be the lead singer for 38 Special.
Yeah, which is also a cool
Donnie
band.
Van Zandt.
Hey, Mountain Man, back at my school, the gym teacher's name was G Money.
Yeah. You gotta get a band together and call it G-Money?
G-Money. This podcast is the B-Money podcast. Benona
Right.
Buck. Yeah. Benona Buck, because it's Benona and then Buck, $1. A buck is $1. So B-Money. Yep. So back at my school, G-Money was the gym teacher. We need a band started. Maybe we could all start a band and call our band G-Money.
Right?
Just like Skinner.
Right. Mountain Man will be happy with the next album on the list.
Take it.
Number 11 is The Wall, Pink Floyd.
Man, that's way too low on this
Really?
list.
That's way too low. But I'm so happy it's in there.
Damn, number 11. What's the 10 that are above this album?
I could listen to Pink Floyd all day.
What 10 albums are above Pink Floyd The Wall? This is insane.
We'll see. I'm not going to say anything yet, but we'll see. We'll get to them.
What's Jason say about this?
Well, before we get into what Jason said about it, I'm going to say my favorite song on the album might be Hey You.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an album we listened to out at the campfire.
Yeah. We listen to that out there. More than often, we listen to songs from it on the rock radio station.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At the end of the 70s...
I don't think Pink Floyd will ever die or go away.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Their stuff is timeless, man.
It's unbelievable.
So much effort was put into every little sound.
You ain't kidding.
Music, you know?
You're not kidding. It's just it was a thinking time of not just gonna make a song like you're saying Nirvana, and I agree with you, Rose. I mean, I don't like Nirvana.
Something that I forget to tell our audience is, these songs are great, but you're missing out if you've never listened to a lot of these albums from the 70s with headphones on. Because there's a lot of different sonic tricks they would use spatially with their recording, and you can hear as if things are happening in the room. You know?
I have a sound bar in my cabin in the woods, and I'm getting ready to do dishes and stuff like that, and I'll turn on Pink Floyd and stuff and crank it up. Yeah. Surprising, if I had neighbors much closer, they would know. But I mean, it's what did my cousin Kenny used to say? It's just not Lutheran if you don't like Pink Floyd.
Right.
Well, he didn't say that, but everything he said was, well, that's not Lutheran. we don't know why he would say that. Nothing has to do with religion or anything. He goes, well, that's just not Lutheran. I go, what the heck does that have to do anything? So I use that term now because I remember when, like, if my brother calls me or any of my brothers and they say something, I'm going, well, that's not Lutheran. They say, well, you shut up.
That's funny. We got a couple new comments from the fans. A new fan named Elite Edge says, I have the Doors' greatest hits in my CD changer, and my tape deck, and my 8-track player. Has been in every vehicle I've driven for the last 15 years. And then Elite Edge also says, heard Disturbed, Korn, and Manson on the Classic Rock Channel last weekend. Those are 90s.
Korn wasn't bad.
Yep. So Elite Edge says he's hearing Korn, Manson, and Disturbed on the Classic Rock Channel. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Well, like I said, now they're considering it its own genre. It's not just the time. It's its own genre, so anything that fits into that category. Anything that's simpatico with people who like classic rock goes in that category now.
Well, no, I really think those would be played on the classic. To be a classic, it has to be 30 years old, right? So those songs are probably 30 years old. Now they can be on classic rock.
Even newer songs end up on the classic rock.
They do?
Stuff now. Yeah.
Huh.
If they're of a similar genre. Like, they'll play brand new Foo Fighters songs.
Really?
Honestly, if one of these classic rock artists come out with a new song, yeah, it gets played on the classic rock station.
They're going by artists.
Really?
Like, if the Rolling Stones or Aerosmith came out with a new album tomorrow, those new songs would end up on the classic rock station.
Oh, because they've been into it for well over 30 years.
Yeah. It's genre now. It's like R&B is R&B. Classic rock is now anything of that genre.
I like me some R&B.
Yeah.
I do.
But like, you know how you have R&B and you have rap and you have country and you have rock.
Right.
But now rock is either new rock, which doesn't even sound like rock to me. Anytime I try to tune into any newer rock station, I can't discern what is different from this music from pop. It's pop music. It's all electronic, and it's synthetic, and it's just crap.
That's interesting.
So,
well,
it sounds like this stuff that's on the pop stations.
I took my daughter JC down to Electric Forest because I had 3 wristbands.
Mm-hmm.
Went in there, I'm going, what is...
I'm having trouble hearing Mountain Man.
Those are, well, that's a DJ. I'm going, that's not a DJ. He's got a computer.
Hey, what's going on with the...
I had to move it. I had to adjust something. Yep, I'm listening to you, Mountain Man.
Yeah, but, and I said, that doesn't take talent like playing an instrument or, you know, doing real DJing. You're just pushing buttons on a computer. That's just totally stupid.
Yeah.
I just didn't get it. That's not my way. That's not even music to me.
And besides that, even these days, it doesn't even take talent to be singing.
No.
Because they just auto-tune everything.
Now, the one band that I watched that I really liked, because, I mean, I was in band, I played percussion, and I also played tuba, but I love music. My mom was all about music and everything. I can play the piano, guitar, stuff like that, but haven't done it in a million years. But still, it was the part of... it was a band called String Cheese.
String Cheese Theory?
And what's that?
Was it String Cheese Theory? Or String Cheese Incident?
I think so. They had like saxophones, trombones, they had bass guitar, they were I mean, it was electric and everything else, but it was like really cool. It was awesome. I liked it.
Okay.
It was like a hippie thing.
Huh. Speaking of your mom, didn't she teach a famous musical artist how to play guitar?
That would have been Wayne Static from
Indeed.
Static X.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Sure did.
Which is, yep.
Rest in peace, Wayne.
Sadly,
Yep.
she also outlived him.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then a year later, his wife took the same...
Still living, but sad about him.
The same cocktail that Wayne took and she died. Almost exactly to the day.
Wow.
Wow.
It was antidepressants and something else. I don't know. It's a shame.
Yeah.
He used to come over to our house. We had all, because they had a band, and they would play for all the high school dances and stuff, and they would all come over. I was a freshman in high school. They were seniors.
I just saw the screen go blue. Are we okay?
Yeah, we're okay.
Okay.
Oh, you moved the phone too far away. I can't hardly hear Rose.
Try to talk in now, Rose. Let's do another quick sound check.
No, I just saw the screen do something funny. I was making sure we were still okay with the live stream.
Can you hear her now, Mountain Man?
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, perfect. All right, where were we at on our list?
I think we're at like number 11 or 10.
Yeah, we're at 11, and it was Pink Floyd, The Wall.
Right.
At the end of this, I'll read the write-up about it. Maybe we could talk some more when I'm done, but about the Wall. But okay, Jason Hirsch. What was his name?
Just Jason. Just say the name Jason
Yeah,
says.
just say Jason.
Okay. At the end of the 70s, Roger Waters was the dictator of Pink Floyd. How badly David Gilmour, Richard Wright, and Nick Mason must have wanted to kick him out is anyone's guess, but at this point, Waters was still writing great music. The Wall was a Waters solo album in all but name, since he wrote just about everything on this album, and many consider this to be a testament to his state of mind at the time. While the album contains a few notable songs, Another Brick in the Wall Part 2, Comfortably Numb, and Hey You, the album is a single linear work that everyone should hear from open to end at least once.
Oh, yes. Totally agree.
Yeah. You've got to at least, if you like Pink Floyd, you've got to at least listen to their albums, not just this one, but most of their albums, from the very beginning to the very end, because they're almost cinematic in the way they lead from one to another, tell a story.
It's like
even if it's not a story with words, sometimes it's a story with sound.
It's like almost like how they're doing movie sequels now.
Mhm.
I mean, they're blending into one another, or a sitcom, to where before, if you did, okay, let's just throw an old movie out, Airplane, and then they did Airplane 2. It wasn't the same, you know, when you do it. But like, say, let's throw out a newer one, John Wick. John Wick 2.
Oh,
John
I love
Wick 3. They're all bam, 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 and they just like keep going like you would a sitcom that they're doing now.
You are speaking the right language right now, Mountain Man. I was just saying, I don't know if it was yesterday, but I was just saying that John Wick 1, 2, and 3, I bought them for Professor Bam, my lovely wife, Professor Bam. I bought them for her for Valentine's Day. And some of the best movies, some of the best new movies I've seen in a long time. Love John Wick.
Unbelievable. It'll tug at your heart.
Yeah, with his dogs.
But, yep, with the dogs, but then also everything. But did you also know that the John Wick movies, just one movie, this is kind of disturbing to research and figure out. That movie was, it set records in the movie industry of the most headshots.
Ooh, okay. That's an interesting fact. I did not know that.
It's kind of a disturbing thing of going, but it's still, those are great movies. They have a really good, somebody was thinking when they made them.
Yeah, very interesting.
You know, Keanu Reeves takes his co-stars out to the gun range to practice before they're in the movie with him, and they actually learn how to shoot and stuff.
Yeah,
and then he also does, he has them do paintball, too.
He kind of got banned from Hollywood because he is a gun activist.
Love Keanu.
And then you got your fake people out there like Steven Seagal and everything else that want total gun control.
You think Steven Seagal's fake?
Is he a Russian citizen now?
You think Steven Seagal's fake?
He's all for gun control.
Well, as he should be.
Why?
Well, he's a Russian citizen now.
Guns are
so
dangerous.
it doesn't affect our laws
Yeah,
over
guns
here.
are dangerous.
Okay, you can pry mine out of my cold, dead fingers. After you get me.
Now that our great
I need them to survive. I never want to harm a person or anything else except for like a rabbit during rabbit season, a deer during deer season, a squirrel during squirrel season. I need food.
and an intruder during intruder season.
An intruder I don't have a problem with, but I mean I would never ever use a gun to try to harm somebody else or even threaten anybody. I don't need that. I have other ways and equipment.
He wouldn't use a gun. He would use a high-powered rocket launcher.
Who says I don't have claymores with tripwires?
Exactly.
Front?
Yep. Yep. So
if you're not invited in, don't come in.
Gretchen and Kamala are coming for your guns. I see that. I see ammunition is sold out all over the country right now. I wonder why that is.
You can't hardly find it. That's why I reload my own.
Yep. I wonder why that is, and I wonder why, like Rose was saying.
But this also happened in the Obama term. You couldn't even get 22 long rifles.
And is it because people think that the government's going to come infringe upon their rights?
They were trying to say that, well, we sold them all to the military. I had to call my son-in-law, who is ex-paratrooper military, and said, do you guys really use 22s? He goes, heck no, we don't use 22s. Mm-hmm. I go, I wonder why they got sold to the military. There's a warehouse someplace with freaking full of 22 ammo.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
It's happening again.
So, are we getting back to the list?
Yeah. What number are we on?
Yeah. I'm sorry. We kind of veered off.
Okay. This next group is part of a thing that I didn't really catch on to.
Hey.
I'm not really.
Hey, Elite Edge, can you hear?
10.
Elite Edge, can you hear Rose and Mountain Man? Okay, how's it going? Leave it in the comments.
Him to tell us. He was telling us we sounded okay back in 1 and 2.
Yeah, Elite Edge, we really need to trust you to tell us if it's good or not good. Is it good or bad?
Okay. So while we wait for him to answer.
Let's do another
10.
sound check, Rose. Let's do another sound check real quick before you go forward.
Okay, let me speak, and now let Mountain Man speak.
Say something, Mountain Man.
Hey, I'm here.
Sound check, Mountain Man.
I'm here, Lita. You didn't hear me?
Okay, we got it.
Okay, everybody sounds pretty good, right?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to check the actual feed. I'm on a phone, so I hear you through the phone, but I also hear. I also had the YouTube stream on, so I can check the sound that's actually on that.
So the way that we're doing this is, Rose Clarity I've called her on Snapchat. I've called Mountain Man on the regular phone. I have a Dolby Digital surround sound tablet with a cloth over it placed near the microphone with my cell phone sitting on top of that. And this is how we're piping in two people from different parts of the world into this podcast. Yep, interesting.
Okay.
All right.
That's good.
Continue.
So, number 10 on this list is Raw Power by the Stooges. Like I said, I didn't really get into this part of rock, the punk stuff, but yeah.
It's interesting that that's
Okay.
above.
Man.
Okay. All right. I have a question, Rose.
Mm-hmm.
How in the world did the Stooges beat out Pink Floyd in The Wall?
I'm not sure. I suppose it's down to the taste of the person who compiled the list. See,
Yeah.
sometimes we
I
like
think they were just
horrible
guessing
lists.
of what they thought was good.
Right. sometimes we like horrible lists because we can sit here and pick it apart and criticize it.
Yeah, like this guy's already very stupid. The Wall should be in the top 3. The Wall should be in the top
Right.
3.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But who knows? Maybe we'll have another Pink Floyd album in the top 3.
Maybe so. All right, continue.
Maybe.
We're gonna
Okay.
try not to interrupt you. You're just gonna read.
Right.
You're gonna read the album, and then Jason's thoughts, and then if anything comes to us that's really good, we'll talk. But go ahead, because we keep stopping.
Technically an album by Iggy and the Stooges, Raw Power consists of most of the band that made their self-titled debut and follow-up Funhouse. Stooges guitarist Ron Ashton is now on bass, with James Williamson brought on for the guitarist position. The result was an unbelievably powerful album that, when considering its context, is even more out of place than at first glance. Led Zeppelin was turning blues into metal. The Who were turning power chords into their most melodic form. Yet no one was making rock like this. The production may have been a bit too much, but the album is so sharp, it just doesn't matter. Okay, Jason, whatever you say. Not a fan of the punk stuff.
I like punk,
I mean,
but I don't think it should be
some of
above.
it's okay.
It should not be above Pink Floyd. The Wall.
Right. I suppose it fits in with rock albums of the 70s, but,
Yeah, strange.
yeah. Should we just skip to number 9 then?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
Okay. Now this next artist was a friend of Iggy Pop's, and I do like a lot of his music. Number 9 is Hunky Dory by David Bowie.
Oh, you like his music. You love David Bowie.
I like David Bowie.
You have a love affair with him.
No, not exactly.
Yeah. What's your favorite 3 Bowie songs from this album?
From this album,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not certain. The Man Who Sold the World is on it. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't one of my favorite albums by David
Oh,
Bowie.
wow. Okay. That's cool. Keep moving then. Let's find the one that is.
What about, should I read it and then we talk about it, or?
Yeah. Yeah, read it
Yeah.
and then we'll talk
Okay.
about it.
Along with Ziggy Stardust, Hunky Dory is the most famous album David Bowie released. Hunky Dory finds Bowie abandoning the heavy metal leanings of The Man Who Sold the World in favor of the more singer-songwriter folk style that he would soon also leave behind. The album is famous for bringing Bowie farther into the mainstream and giving the public its first big dose of the weird Bowie.
Okay. Not one of your favorite albums, but this man says it's his best album.
Well, it's good. It's on the list. He says it's number 9.
No, this man says it's
Did he say it
Bowie's
was his-
best album. He said that. He said it's David Bowie's best album. Right?
He said it's his most famous album.
It's his most famous album. Yeah. And it's not even on your list. Amazing.
Number 8. Unless we want to talk about it a little bit more.
No, we'll talk when we...
Man.
No, we have nothing. Keep going.
No comment?
Nope.
Okay. Number 8, Hotel California, the Eagles.
Oh, I love the
Oh,
Eagles.
yes.
I love the
Hotel
Eagles.
California.
I love Hotel
California.
California. And this was on...
Right.
Rose and I just did a list, and this guy... what's that dude's name? He got fired from BuzzFeed.
Ryan Broderick.
Ryan Broderick said Hotel California is one of the 10 worst songs ever made.
What?
Yep, he sure did.
I'm waiting for Stairway to Heaven to come out.
Yep, he said it's bad. So what's Jason have to say about this album? This is a good album.
Okay.
I am not arguing. This
For
is a
Hotel
fine place for this.
California,
Yeah.
For Hotel California, the Eagles added guitarist Joe Walsh, a guitarist who had worked with them before, but not to the extent he would here. The result was to push more of the group's original country rock sound farther into the background in favor of a more hard rock sound that was associated with Walsh. Out of this came the group's best album. Along with some of their best songs, Hotel California remains the most famous, but The New Kid in Town, Life in the Fast Lane, Wasted Time, and Victim of Love are also worth mentioning.
All great songs. Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
I need to play this album once we get off the pod. Love this album.
I'm going to Pink Floyd.
I love Pink Floyd, yeah.
But Hotel California, another great one.
Yeah, I think it's the right placement for that album too. That's in the top 10. That's right about.
Album, so I'm gonna. He calls it their best album, so I'm gonna assume we're not gonna see the Eagles again on this list.
No, that is their best album, for sure.
Right.
But I'd like to say one of my favorite songs by the Eagles is "One of These Nights," and it is not on this album.
That's okay.
So.
You've said that before.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
The dude hates the fucking Eagles.
Any more to say about the Eagles?
No, they're awesome, amazing. Continue.
Okay. One moment, I gotta help my cat. Get up there, bud. Alright. Number 7. Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen.
Yep.
The Boss.
In 1975, Springsteen was at the end of his rope, perhaps because he was hearing things from executives, or perhaps because he was getting nervous. Springsteen believed that if his third album didn't sell, he would be out of a job. So Springsteen put all of his energy into making what he believed to be the best album he and the band were capable of. Usually, this is a recipe for disaster, and such a process leads to overcooked ideas and less energy in the recording. Yet Springsteen and the E Street Band came up with some emotional performances and some great songs. Born to Run is still great no matter how many times you listen to it. But my favorites are Backstreet's Jungle Land and Thunder Road.
Thunder Road was a good one.
Has to say.
Well, you do know that Bruce Springsteen, has, last I knew, or had a house in Boca Grande.
Boca Grande. I know where that's at.
Yep.
Yep, because I'm in Metro Tampa. I know right where Boca Grande is. It's
right.
Way south
and
of me.
So did Katharine Hepburn, and I went down there to visit my mom. We went to the local library down where she lived, and Katharine Hepburn was in there.
Interesting.
And I got to meet her.
Wow. Very interesting. The Boss. Okay, so next.
Number 6. Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd.
Oh, another
there
Floyd.
you go.
There we go. That's a great album. Dark Side of the Moon. Who doesn't love that? We got 2 Pink Floyds, as we should.
Right.
You're right. There are a few ways to explain how massively popular Dark Side of the Moon was, but I'll try anyway. It spent a record 741 weeks on the Billboard 200, 741. The album, like so many of Pink Floyd's best works, is not as well known for its songs as itself as a whole. But unlike most Floyd albums, there are real songs here. Money is the song most familiar with casual fans, but there are also songs, Brain Damage and Time, the latter of which might be the band's best.
Great songs. We listen to songs from that album out at the fire.
Yep, Money was a great song.
What's up next, Rose?
At the risk of sounding racist, I don't know why this song is on a rock of the 70s list.
What is it?
I mean, I like the album,
Is it Prince?
but it's R&B.
Okay, who is
No.
it?
Number 5, What's Going On, Marvin Gaye.
No, that's not on this list. That's not a rock album. Okay. Okay. Let's just stop the list. This is. I'm trying to watch my mouth not to cuss. This is very stupid. This person is a stupid person.
For one, Marvin Gaye never wrote and never had an album in the 70s. Marvin Gaye was 50s and early 60s.
No, this is what's going on. This was in the 70s.
Yeah, but it's not a rock album. It's an R&B album.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's just not Lutheran.
Yep. Exactly. Okay, don't even read it. Just move on to the next one. I refuse to.
Right. I don't even want to listen to that.
Unless you want to. If you want to say, does he say why he thinks it's on this rock list of the 70s?
He doesn't say why it's on a rock list.
Okay, then don't read it.
I like the album. It's got good songs.
I love Marvin Gaye. I love the album.
If you want to say that classic rock is a genre now, this doesn't fit.
Okay, is the next one going to be Merle Haggard?
Number 4, Exodus, Bob Marley.
Bob Marley on Rock of the 70s.
You gotta love you some Marley, man.
Yeah, but that's also shouldn't be on this list, I don't think.
No, that's reggae. That's not rock.
Right, that is reggae.
Now we've gone into stupidity. We're
Number 3. not that any of this music is bad. It just
No, this is all great. These are great albums by iconic artists, but they're not 70s rock.
Right.
No.
Okay, let's skip to number 3 then. Blood on the Tracks, Bob Dylan.
Dylan, that's rock.
Oh, Dylan's good.
This had songs like Tangled Up in Blue, Shelter from the Storm, Simple Twist of Fate.
Even though you couldn't understand a word in any interview that he ever did, but hey, he was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have a question when this is all done. So keep going.
Okay. By 1975, Bob Dylan seemed like he was slowing to a halt creatively. Okay. This was all before Blood on the Tracks, which is Dylan's statement to the world about the status of his marriage. Dylan, who had been personal before, had never revealed this much at once. Songs like Idiot Wind, Tangled Up in Blue, Simple Twist of Fate, and Shelter from the Storm rank among the best tracks Dylan has ever released.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I'm only like a minor fan of Bob Dylan. I like a couple of his songs.
Great songwriter.
But, I mean, he is one of those really big artists. So.
He's a great songwriter. Okay. He really is.
Right.
Great songwriter. Mm-hmm.
Okay, number 2 is Who's Next by The Who.
Cool.
The Who was waiting for him to come in.
That's amazing that they're number 2. This is a good album.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Who was iconic in the 70s, early 80s.
And Bob O'Reilly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Love all those songs.
Okay, I'll read what Jason says. It took Pete Townsend 2 years and a mental breakdown to figure out how to follow up The Who's commercial and artistic breakthrough, Tommy. After the band gave up on his Lifehouse project, some of the songs were salvaged for what became of The Who's true magnum opus, Who's Next. Like few other albums, there is not a bad song in this set, and there are breakthroughs all around. Some of rock's most powerful statements reside here, such as the Bad Guy's Perspective anthem, Behind Blue Eyes, and the anti-leadership anthem, Won't Get Fooled Again, not to mention the popular Baba O'Reilly. This album is single-handedly responsible for popularizing the synthesizer as a lead instrument in rock music, for better or worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did amazing things with their...
That's one of the ones you want to listen with headphones, for sure.
Yeah, it is. It is. But what is? It's not the synthesizer. It's I can't remember what it was called. It was like I can't remember the name of it. Like the actual machine they used. It was a type of synthesizer, but I can't remember. But they actually had to program a lot of things to even be able to use those things. Not like modern keyboards. Most people these days don't even realize.
That was the original synthesizer. You had to program what sounds you wanted to come out of it before you tried to do it.
Yeah, and they were working, a lot of those songs on Who's Next, they were working with sequences of synthesized sequence sound.
Right.
That would repeat and repeat and repeat.
Yep.
Which was difficult to get exactly the same every time.
And what's
really
number one? What is number one? Does anyone want to guess? Mountain Man, what do you think could be number one? Rose is looking at it, so you can't guess.
It's got to be another Leonard Skinner one.
Perfect. That'd be great. I think it's going to be some odd, not rock.
Yeah,
it's going to be like...
the way it's been going in the top 5 or 6.
It's going to be like a 70s disco band or something.
Oh, God.
It's Earth, Wind, and Fire is number one.
No.
Donna Summer. No.
Yeah.
Donna Summer?
It's not Donna Summer. It's not. I was just throwing out a funny fun.
I know.
Funny.
That was great.
So what's number one? Or should I do a read? Is this where we do the advertisement to keep people hooked because they want to hear what number one is?
We'll do an advertisement after the list. But what I want from you right now, Buck, is a drum roll.
Okay. Not on your belly.
On the list of the best rock songs of the 70s is Led Zeppelin 4.
Oh, that's a winner.
Oh!
That should be right where it is.
Yes, I'll agree.
Great album. Yep, great.
Finished good, this list.
Great.
I remember my daughters when they were younger. I said we ought to put out an album. They made a lot of albums and everything. They looked at me and I said, "Dad, what's an album?" They didn't even know. And I'm like, really?
I never had to ask that question. I grew up knowing what that was.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. So what's your thoughts on that, Rose, on Led Zeppelin? We know that you're a huge Led Zeppelin fan.
Choice. I think it's a fantastic choice. It's one of the good albums. Well, they're all good. There's not a bad Led Zeppelin album.
No, there's not, but I still think Pink Floyd The Wall should have been number 2 or number 1.
Yeah. It could have been.
That one, you can't beat it.
That should have been in the top 3.
Right, and then we have Dark Side of the Moon at number 6.
Or even, I would even be okay with The Wall as long as it was in the top 5. Okay, and it should over like Marvin Gaye and
right. I don't even know how that ever got
Cyndi Lauper and.
Another question I have is why isn't more than one Led Zeppelin album on this list?
They must not.
That's true. That's a very good question.
They put 2 Pink Floyds, but there's only one Led Zeppelin, even though it's the winner.
Mm-hmm.
But Led Zeppelin, where's Cream? There is no Cream on this freaking list.
I want to hear the comment.
No Metallica.
Did you read about the number 1?
No, we'll read about it right now.
Read it.
And we have his name at the end of the article again. His name is Jason Hirschhorn.
Okay. Yeah, read it.
Some albums become so big that it becomes uncool to champion them. Well, for years, that was the case with Led Zeppelin's officially untitled 4th album. But the amounts of albums that are in the same league musically as Led Zeppelin 4 can be counted on less than one hand. few albums bring as many genres together so successfully and have the songs to match. There are no bad songs on Led Zeppelin 4, and yet there are clear highlights. A feat indeed. Black Dog kicks off the album with a bang, owing its vocal structure to Peter Green era Fleetwood Mac's Oh Well and Muddy Waters' influential Electric Mud LP. Following is radio standby rock and roll, which is so natural it seems like it has existed forever. While the most famous track is Stairway to Heaven, and it is well deserving of its acclaim, the real success of the album is the seismic rhythms of When the Levee Breaks. Such has been sampled so much you wonder which track was really getting more airtime, despite the fact that Led Zeppelin 4 is arguably the greatest album of all time. It never reached the #1 spot in the US charts, although it did in the UK.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Probably.
Bob Seger never had a #1 album.
Oh, you said the magic word, Bob Seger. That's what I listen to every night before I go to bed.
Yeah.
I walk
He
in.
never had a #1 album, and he has some amazing songs.
I walk in my bedroom and I tell her, I say, Amazon device, please play Against the Wind.
Right.
And then
I will say a lot of Bob Seger's hits are actually in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of his most popular music is 80s music.
He never got a #1 song.
Mountain Man wasn't on the pod. I'll tell the story one more time. That my dad, G Money, has a good Bob Seger story. And to make a long story short, basically G Money was working at this bar in Ann Arbor, and Bob Seger's sister, he didn't know it was her sister. She got kicked out. They called him. He let her back in the bar, kept her safe because I guess it was dangerous. And then he got a little invitation the next day, and he got invited over to a house. He had no idea who it was or anything. And he went to this party at this house, and it was the Seger's house, the parents, and Bob Seger did a concert there. Because he helped her sister, he got to go see the concert. How cool is that?
Now, I got a better one for you.
You do?
Yes. He was wrestling for the University of
Just
Michigan.
don't say too much. We don't want to dox anything. We don't say any names or anything. Don't give too much info.
Well, I can say the artist's name, right?
Yeah. Say the artist.
Okay. So, G Money was and the wrestling team came back and went into the locker room. And that was the thing because they were playing at the University of Michigan, and they had this huge smorgasbord. And they all got to eat. Like, please, you guys, eat. There's tons of food. I'm sorry we're plugging up your locker room and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who that person was?
Who was it?
Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper. Wow.
Yep.
That's really cool.
I remember hearing stories of that back in the 70s.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Alice
Okay, well,
Cooper.
for our #1 album, I'd actually like to read the track listing.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, it deserves the track
Led
history.
Zeppelin 4. Side 1 includes Black Dog, Rock and Roll, The Battle of Evermore, Stairway to Heaven. Side 2 is Misty Mountain Hop, Four Sticks, Going to California, and When the Levee Breaks.
That's an album that you can just put on repeat. You just go for a long drive. I could drive across the United States and play that album on repeat.
But the thing was that when I was in school, and you know, if you had a crush on somebody or something like that, and they would always play Stairway to Heaven. Then you went and asked that girl to dance because you had her for like almost 15 minutes. You know, dancing with her. What is it, 13 minutes and 49 seconds long?
That's
Something
cool.
like that.
That's good to know that.
It's a very, very long song, so you could talk with them and everything, and then it would come on, do you want to dance? Oh, yeah, I kind of like this song. I never really heard, well, you got them out there on the dance floor forever, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Not a
my
3-4
favorites from
minute
this,
song.
When the Levee Breaks and Battle of Evermore. Stairway
Yep.
to Heaven is good, but it's overplayed. These days.
You know, the artist that's out there today that I really appreciate and enjoy is Chris Stapleton. He is country and everything, but he was a songwriter before he went on his own and started doing his own stuff.
Hey, Marvin Gaye's on the list. You want to put Chris Stapleton on a rock list? We'll take it. Jason would.
Well, if you think of it, I mean, he is really close to rock. It's country rock. If Marvin Gaye can be on there with R&B, I don't know why he can't.
Yep.
But, it wasn't the 70s. But, I mean, if you ever listen to...
one R&B song I would have accepted for, like, a rock list would be Stevie Wonder's Superstition or Higher Ground.
I would accept none of them.
Those two are more of the rock genre, you know?
Right.
I don't accept them. Not acceptable.
But Chris Stapleton's written over like 350 songs for everybody. If you've ever heard Luke Bryan's "Drink a Beer" song, that was written by Chris Stapleton. Keith Urban's song "In the Back of a Cop Car," written by Chris Stapleton.
I didn't even know that. That's good
there
to know.
were so many for all big-time people. He was just a songwriter. And then his wife said, why don't you just go out and do your own? And he's been, every year for the last 3 years, #1 singer, songwriter in the country music world.
What was he on? American Idol?
No. Self-made person.
Just self-made. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Chris Stapleton.
Well, maybe we need to learn. It's nice to have the mountain man on, a bearded mountain man in the mountains of Colorado, telling us.
Right.
One of the only country songs that I've ever heard that I actually liked was a Garth Brooks song.
Yeah, we can't talk at the same time, or no one will be able to hear us.
Well, you talk a lot.
Actually, you'll listen to this. I've talked the least amount, by far. 80% less, 90% less than you, and 50% less than Mountain Man.
But most of my talking is reading.
But the podcast says Benona Buck, so when I talk, you can shut the fuck up. That's the rule.
I hardly get to say my own words because I spend most of the time.
Oh, you say a lot, I promise. So when I'm talking, just shut up and wait till I'm done talking.
Hey.
And then you can talk the rest of the time, and I love it. You can talk 80% of the time.
Okay,
Did
but
we
when
lose
somebody
Lita?
else is talking, you tend to start talking over them anyway.
Who did we lose?
No.
I don't know. Wasn't her name Lita?
No.
Whoever it was.
Oh, Elite Edge. Elite Edge is still on.
Elite Edge. Okay. She's
Yeah.
still there.
So yeah. So good. So continue with the Rose Clarity podcast.
How about Rose Clarity reads the news for Buck?
Yeah.
He yells at her.
Yep. Continue.
The fight is part of the show.
Yeah, we always fight.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Always.
Well, we're done with that list.
Well, good. What do you want to do? Tom Cruise corner? Do you want to do? What else do you have on the docket of things you would like to talk about?
First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face. In other words, I'm going to have to head down there, and I will rain down an ungodly fucking firestorm upon you. I am talking
What?
What the heck was that?
That was Tom Cruise Corner. That was perfect. That's all we need for Tom Cruise Corner today. That's Tom Cruise from the hit movie Tropic Thunder. Yep. That's fantastic, Rose. Thank you. Yeah, that was the best Tom Cruise Corner. We had a Tom Cruise Corner. We always do a Tom Cruise Corner, okay? We had one, and he was yelling at his staff the other day. It was completely insane. Tom Cruise is a wild
I
man.
find that audio again.
Yeah, we'll play it
See
again.
if I can find it.
Yeah, we'll play it again one of these days. So Mountain Man, it's been fantastic.
Hey,
I'm talking. Mountain Man, it's been fantastic having you on the Benona Buck podcast.
Well, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, you've done a great job. It's been interesting hearing your perspectives, hearing a learned man from the 1970s and 80s and 90s.
We gotta go back to 60s.
60s and a man who lives in the mountains with the Amish and the deer and the bear, who hunts for his food. It's like I was referencing a show that I watch with G Money on Tuesdays. It's called Life Below Zero, and that's what I picture your life being. Yep.
It's about the same thing, except for they have it a lot worse than I do.
You're out there trapping and fishing, and you know.
I've gotten, I had a little nuisance problem and stuff, so I set some snares up to the strapping season now and stuff, and I got 2 coyotes. But
Did you eat them?
no, that's gross.
you don't eat that.
I would. Native
That's
Americans
dog.
ate the coyotes.
That's really bad. But I didn't trap any muskrats or anything like that, and I probably should have, but stuff just happens.
What other animals are in your neck of the woods that you might have a chance to either encounter or hunt, or that could hunt you?
We had a mountain lion out here by the cabin.
Oh, really?
Yep. But, boy, I tell you what, they are skittish. I mean, it's like a coyote in a way. When people talk bad about coyotes, like, oh, they'll attack you and get you and everything going, I've never encountered that because they just want to get away from you.
Mm-hmm.
They're just scared. Like a deer or anything else, just, I'm going to get out of here.
Rose,
Well, mine was the same way. Last spring and middle of summer, I saw a bear twice down by the pond, but it just trolled through. It took about 6-7 weeks. I seen it again, but the biggest thing about nature and stuff, you don't bother them, they don't bother you.
usually.
So
I did just see Professor Bam showed me a video from TikTok, and it was of a man in, I don't remember the country, but he was skiing at a ski resort, and he was skiing down the hill, and there was a damn grizzly bear chasing him.
now, grizzly bear is different. We only have black bear.
Yeah, black bear probably doesn't want to.
And this was a younger one. It was probably maybe 200 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, it really wasn't, like a huge thing. And it was just walking through the deer trail and stuff. So
Interesting.
I was sitting outside,
Nude?
listening to music and stuff. And
Were you
I
nude?
had to look over and going, was I nude?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay, that's something that the audience doesn't know. The mountain man lives so
I
secluded.
don't like clothes unless I have to.
He mostly is nude.
Right.
Yep.
All them pants and everything just leave like alligator tracks around your waist and everything else. That's just not right.
Yeah.
You don't need that.
So
You start chafing and everything else. No, just don't wear anything. You're golden. You're good.
Rose, what's your experience? You think that coyotes want to leave you alone. Remember, you were talking about you were out looking for your cat, and you said there were some nice coyotes out there that you were running into.
There were no nice coyotes. There are probably 5 or 6 packs of coyotes that circle the town of Mears. And
Right. No, they will, especially if you have
a... You can hear them starting to come towards you with all their yipping and their chattering, and it's like you can feel yourself being hunted by them.
Yeah, interesting.
No, I have a coyote call, and I am not a professional. It's a mouth call.
Do you have one?
I commend you, Mountain Man.
Do you have it in the?
Hunting because they need to be thin. There's too many in our area.
Do you have it in the cabin? Can you do the coyote call on the show?
No, I'm not gonna do it.
That would be great.
I'm telling you what, I suck so bad that I heard coyotes to the south, coyotes right in the woods. I heard coyotes to the north of me, coyotes to the west of me, and I blurted that call out, and everything shut up like, oh my God, we've got a mentally disabled coyote somewhere because that thing just don't sound right.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh, it was hilarious. But, I mean, all the dogs in the neighborhood were just going crazy the one night. And then we had alpacas, and they kept disappearing, and I found one up about 15 feet in a tree.
Mm-hmm.
Dead, and so I started investigating using the tractor where I'm in a cab, and I should be protected, and blah, blah, blah. And I spotted it, and that thing was gone like a shot of lightning. And all the dogs quieted down through the whole neighborhood. I think they could smell it. They could tell. Something was there. Holy cow, did they have ever a Bigfoot footprint.
Mm-hmm. And you're talking about a mountain lion.
A mountain lion.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I say like cougar, I don't mean a woman over 50. I mean, it's a mountain lion.
Yeah. Yep. Professor Bam and I were driving. We call them Florida Panthers down here in Florida. We were driving home maybe about 5 years ago, and we saw a male and a female on the side of the road. And the male looked like he was about 200 pounds. Big boy.
Oh,
real
yeah.
big. Looked like a little lion. Like he was muscular. Yeah. The female looked about half the size, maybe 100 pounds, 80 pounds even.
I bet you this one was $1.25.
Yep.
I mean, had a long, long tail, but...
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it was gone, and I haven't seen it back since. I must have scared it or something.
Yeah.
But
that's interesting.
it will be back in time. I seen, because I was out trapping, I saw some bobcat tracks out in the snow.
Oh, you guys got a lot of those. As I was over on the farm, not far from you in the mountains, I saw some bobcats over that way.
Yeah. No, we have my head. I tried to take a picture once, but I mean, I don't know how to do filters and all the stuff like that, but I seen where two of them laid down out in the woods where it was a big open space, but secured. And you could say where two of them laid down in the snow, you could see their little bobtails and everything else.
Interesting. Oh, it's got to be fun to live out in the mountains.
I caught it.
Yep, that's cool.
So, but it's legal to trap one bobcat.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to let it go, and I'm thinking I don't even know how to let it go because I can't even get close to it. I had to use a 8-foot push pole just to hold it down. So, I ain't getting scratched up by that.
It was a live trap then?
No, it was in a snare.
Oh. Okay.
A murderous trap.
I have a little bit of experience with live traps from when my cat got lost. but.
Oh no, I don't use live traps.
Ah.
No, you gotta extinguish it or extinguish it yourself, but you don't.
Rose, do you have any
You know.
questions for the Mountain Man? Do you have any interview questions? Do you have any topics that you were thinking we should cover tonight that you wanted to go through that we could talk about? What's on your mind?
I'm just wondering if you wanna continue the pod after we're done with the conversation with Mountain Man, or if he's staying until the end.
Oh, yeah, Mountain Man, how you
What was
feeling?
your plan then?
It's getting pretty late. You going to bed, or you want to stay on the pod? How you feeling?
Oh gee, seeing how my employer is in the nursing home right now, I really don't have a whole lot planned until like 2:00 tomorrow afternoon, so I'm good.
Okay, Mountain Man's going to stay with us through the pod. Perfect.
Okay. Well, I've got an article on the Dexter revival.
That's exactly what I want to hear. Hey, Mountain Man, have you ever seen Dexter?
Wait. No.
Okay, so Mountain Man, you're just going to listen and wonder, what is she talking about? And I'm going to say, I love Dexter, and just be excited. Yeah, give me info. Give me info on the Dexter revival.
Okay, this is from bleedingcool.com. And it was written by Ray Fluke, January 26, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Dexter Revival Cast Michael Cyril Creighton in Recurring Role.
Okay.
With original series star Michael C. Hall and showrunner Clyde Phillips, Dexter Revival for Showtime is expected to begin production in Massachusetts next month. We're learning the name of another person in Dexter Morgan's new life. Michael Cyril Creighton from Game Night, Dash and Lily will be joining the cast in the recurring role of Fred Jr., set to appear in 7 episodes. Fred is the congenial owner of Fred's Fish and Game, a shop he inherited from his father. He has grown up in Iron Lake and is a regular fixture around the town that everybody knows and loves. Whether it's line dancing at the local tavern or singing in the choir, he's married to Brian, the pastor of a small congregational church in town.
Oh, hold on. Fred is married to Brian?
Who was a pastor.
You're getting away from me, and I don't have a problem with that. I just was trying to make sure I was listening correctly.
Fred Fish and Game.
Okay.
Which is married to Brian, who is the town pastor.
Now this is getting into Mountain Man's neck of the woods. He loves dudes.
No.
Yep. Yeah,
I'm not
he does.
Married to a guy.
I took him to a gay bar once here in Florida, and all the dudes were into him so much, they asked him to do a dirty tug. Do you want a dirty tug? They said. Can I tug your beard?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I finish the article?
Yeah, but you know what would be good too is, because I don't know, why did they end Dexter the first time?
I think certain people wanted out. They wanted to further their careers certain other ways, and it didn't really pan out.
Like
can
the
I
star?
just say one thing and I'll let you guys talk, or let her talk if you'll let her talk. What the heck is Dexter? I thought it was a cartoon.
Dexter was a Showtime television show about a guy who is a serial killer who kills other serial killers.
Okay.
Yep.
I did not know any of this. I thought Dexter, I remembered as a kid, it was a cartoon.
Is it still on Netflix? What's Dexter on? Still on Netflix?
I think it might still be on Netflix. I'm not certain.
It's a really, really good show. It's a fantastic show.
It's kind of a dark comedy, action, drama, thriller.
Love it.
Yep. Now, if you
It's really weird. It's really
you're good
weird.
with blood, you see a lot of
Very
blood, you
funny,
murder.
but also very gory. There's a lot of killing.
Yeah, you do a lot of murdering yourself, so
I
don't
love
think.
John Wick.
Yeah.
For gosh sakes.
No.
That ain't a lot.
This is way more than John Wick. This is people strapped to a table getting sliced into pieces. Yeah, there's some weird shit on this show.
Oh, Epstein Island.
Yep.
Well, this guy is killing killers. And also, I think he killed some pedophiles and human traffickers in the original series. So.
Yep, he
Good
did.
for him.
Yeah.
He's a Trump
Good for
supporter.
him.
He's a serial killer. He has the compulsion to be a serial killer, but he's using it to kill other killers.
Gotcha.
So that's the context of the show. It's an interesting show. You'd enjoy it, I think, if you can watch
Probably
Dexter. It might be on Netflix. You might enjoy it.
Dexter Darkly Dreaming.
Maybe something to binge while you're snowed in the mountains out there.
Yep, for sure.
I'm watching Valerie right now.
Yep.
They're going to kill Nazis.
Is that on your LGBTQ channel? What's it all about?
I don't even like it. I really don't. No, it's about Nazis, World War II, stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool. What's it called? Valor?
Valerie, I believe.
Valkyrie?
Valkyrie, yeah, with Brad Pitt.
Oh, okay. Cool.
No, wait a minute. What the heck am I watching?
Tom Cruise?
No, I'm watching Fury.
Fury. Okay.
Yeah.
Valkyrie was a World War II movie with Tom Cruise.
Oh, that's
Yes,
interesting.
Tom Cruise.
We love
This
Tom
is with
Cruise on our show
Brad
here.
Pitt.
We love to have Tom Cruise mentions on the show, so we appreciate that. Thank you,
Let's have
Mountain Man.
another word from Tom Cruise.
Yeah, give us another word, please.
You and I are alone.
Oh, we've got an ad. Give me a moment.
Okay.
According to The Sun, the UK tabloid...
Oh, shit. This is a bad clip. Not a good one. Hold on.
We're going to cancel that. We're moving on. I'll play the clip a different day. It sounds like shit. It sounds horrible.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. We're good.
I can't find the good one.
Yeah, keep reading
There you
about
go.
Dexter. What else? How much more we got here?
Okay, so he's married to Brian, pastor of a small congregational church in town. Phillips Hall, John Goodwin, Sarah Colleton, Bill Carrero, and Scott Reynolds executive produce. Marco Siega from Batwoman and The Flight Attendant and Veronica Mars is to executive produce as well as direct 6 episodes of the season. With Clancy Brown from The Shawshank Redemption and Carnival, Julia Jones from The Mandalorian, Alano Miller from Sylvie's Love, Johnny Sequoia from Believe, and Jack Alcott from The Good Lord Bird, joining Hall for his return. Here's a look at who's who in Dexter's now upstate New York world. Jones, Angela Bishop, is the first Native American chief of police in her town in upstate New York, while Sequoia's Audrey is Bishop's brash and opinionated teenage daughter. Miller's Logan is sergeant for the Iron Lake Police Department and the assistant wrestling coach for the local high school, while Dexter has a meaningful encounter with Alcott's Randall. The 4 actors join Brown, who portrays Kurt Caldwell. Born and raised in the town of Iron Lake, he's realized the American dream by going from driving big rigs, just like his father, to now owning several trucks and a local truck stop. Powerful, generous, loved by everyone. He's a true man of the people. If he's got your back, consider yourself blessed. But should you cross Kurt or hurt anyone that he cares for, God help you. In October 2020, Phillips was a guest on the Hollywood Reporter's Top 5 podcast, where he offered some additional insight into their approach with the series' return. Close to 10 years have passed since viewers last visited Dexter Morgan's universe, Phillips wants to make it clear that this isn't just the next season, but an opportunity to end things a second time. We wanted this not to be Dexter Season 9. 10 years or however many years have passed by the time this will air, and the show will reflect time's passage, he explained. So far, the ending of the show, this will have no resemblance to how the original finale was. It's a great opportunity to write a second finale. While this will give writers an opportunity to reconsider aspects of the finale season and the season finale, it's having a new story to tell that was the reason for the revival. This is an opportunity to make that right, Phillips explained. But that's not why we're doing it. But for fans looking for anything to dramatically change or be retconned back to a stronger sense of canon, Phillips wants to make something clear. We're not undoing anything. We're not going to betray the audience and say, whoops, that was all a dream. What happened in the first 8 years will happen in the first 8 years.
Yeah, but that was a horrible ending to the show, and we're not going to give any spoilers. No spoilers.
Yeah,
We're just going to say
what mad about the ending.
Yeah, we're just going to say, what did you do? Why did you do this to us, you know? It's exciting to have Dexter back because you fucked up the ending, and I want to see what's going on. I bet it's going to be really good. Really good.
It sounds like it's taking place some place called Iron Lake that's in upstate New York.
And they're filming it in Boston?
I'm not certain.
Yeah, interesting.
I think that, they're filming in Massachusetts.
Very good.
I think there's some potential here with what I've read. There's a lot of police people cast. And then we've got this guy who runs the Fish and Game, who's married to the town pastor named Brian.
That's cool, man.
I'm
good with all that. I'm good with it all. It sounds good to me. When can we start watching it?
I'm not certain. They're filming. They're starting filming soon.
Oh, good. So maybe by next year we can get our new season of Dexter.
Yeah.
So,
if I were people that work in TV and movies and stuff, I would hold off on throwing this news out there. When you've got, 2 or 3 years before some of this stuff comes out, you get people excited, and then, I mean, honestly, they should wait until a little bit before it's ready to come out to start telling people,
I think they're starting work on it, and they're so excited about it.
Yeah.
I know we're super hyped. We're super hyped about Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah.
And
Beetlejuice 2.
Yeah, we're super hyped too.
And possibly Beetlejuice 3.
2 and 3, yeah, it's a double.
I said what they need to do is they need to call Beetlejuice 2 Beetlejuice, and then call Beetlejuice 3 1.
Oh God.
Beetlejuice. Yep, exactly.
Right.
Yep.
But you don't want to say the name 3 times.
I do. I love Beetlejuice. Please show up.
You don't want to say it 3 times.
That means Michael Keaton's going to wake him up in his sleep in the full Beetlejuice makeup screaming in his face.
Yep. Very exciting.
No, our problem is around here, if I get myself over to a neighbor's place, which takes some time, and then we say, if you say Beetlejuice, there's this one guy that lives way down the road wherever he shows up, and he is like the closest thing that needs to go into a sale he needs to go away to a nut house, and he'll show up every time. He's gonna break something. It might be a chair, it could be a door, it could be whatever, but and we try not to say that word 3 times in a row.
Interesting.
Well, you didn't, so you're in luck. You just heard it 3 times in a row.
No, I don't want him at my place. He showed up at my cabin in the woods the one time. I couldn't get rid of him. I'm like, you gotta go.
I see.
I don't get company. I miss having company, but I can go somewhere else and be their company. I was telling Buck, I think some of the last company I had was when he came out
October.
and visited. I really believe that was about it. I don't get company.
I see.
And it don't bother me. If I need company and you start getting that mental feeling of like, I need to be around people, because with even all the COVID stuff that everything's doing, to keep our immune systems up, you still have to breathe other people's air. You have to socialize, because depressing and all the research I've been doing, I really wasn't feeling well for a couple days, and then I stopped researching. And I'm like, I think I was going into a depression.
What was? Can you just tell us a little bit of the research that you were doing? You had mentioned it earlier. You don't have to go into depth on it. Just so the fans can know some of the research.
I don't know what research. The COVID test? Now that they came out and said
We're a major conspiracy theory podcast. Whenever Professor Bam comes down, we go wild here. So the wilder, the better.
All right. I said, like, from the beginning, because I watched an article for the guy that made that test that they're using now. And, okay, here's conspiracy. I'll blow you out of your chair. But when it came out and they were using it, he goes, I did not develop that test for anything on a living human being. It was made for laboratory studies only. And if you magnify it too many times, if you've ever had chicken pox, measles, mumps, I've had them all, pneumonia, the common flu, if you magnify it enough times, everybody will be positive.
So there's a lot of false positives, like grandma's been
nursing home,
6 times
locked in a room for a year and have been positive that many times. She hasn't been able to leave her room. I mean, tell me that ain't a bunch of horse shit.
Yep, they've locked. So they've false positive tested her like 6 times, and then they make her sit by herself for 2 weeks.
So all you're doing is messing with her mind even more.
Mm-hmm. And she has to be isolated for 2 weeks every time they do it.
Yep.
Totally not cool.
I mean, it's crazy. It's nuts. And then Sid, the guy I take care of, was down there, and he has to be tested and everything, and they did an antibody test on it. Same kind of nose swab.
Mm-hmm.
And it came back that they said, we don't know when or what, but before you got here, you already had the coronavirus. I was with Sid every single day, making sure he got a shower, helping him get dressed, with him, close quarters, everything. Maybe I did have it.
I don't know.
There's certain types of cases. Doesn't necessarily mean if you get it, you're going to be out of respiratory. I mean, it could be like, like a flu. You get a 24-hour flu bug. I didn't throw up. I had diarrhea. Nothing felt good in my stomach, blah, 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 all that. Or it might hit you really hard. It all depends.
Yep.
That's like anything. That's like any flu. You might have a 2-week flu. You could have pneumonia. Oh, I got pneumonia, but I don't feel that bad. And all of a sudden you got pneumonia and you're in a hospital.
Yep. 100%.
Everything works on different levels. If you can't think of that, you're dumb.
Yep.
I mean, that's just the way it is. Some people get cancer. Beat it right off the bat. Some people get cancer, most, and don't survive.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point, Mountain Man.
It all depends on where you're at, what you're doing, but I try to be around even animals, people as much as I can and stuff, just to keep. I need your air to keep my immune system healthy.
Mm-hmm.
The worst thing you can do is isolate yourself from everybody and everything, and then you will get sick.
Yeah, you could definitely.
You have no immune system.
I was telling Rose. I said since I've been married to Professor Bam for 13 years, she's had me. We've been isolating. We've been social distancing, and we've been doing all this stuff a decade before everybody else. So they're all freaking out, and we're just used to it. But luckily, when it comes to shopping and different things, I'm out there. Breathing in all the air, the dirty air.
That will still build your immune system.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have some bacteria in your system to make your health system work.
You do.
Better.
Yep, you do. You need your
absolute fact.
That is a vaccine. That's what a vaccine is. It gives a little dose of something, and then your body learns how to fight it. So
exactly.
You want to get dirty. You want to roll around in the dirt and go outside and breathe in the air.
My grandma told me that if you don't eat a peck of dirt by the time you're 18, you'll never be healthy.
Yeah, there you go. There's something to that.
Okay, now think of it. Now, kids nowadays, they don't let them go out and play in the mud and the dirt like we did as kids and everything else. And they're, you got to be clean, make sure everything. Well, yeah, we had to wash our hands before dinner and stuff. I remember shoveling shit out of cat pens and everything, and Mom would bring a sandwich out to us while we were doing it. We didn't wash our hands. We just grabbed it and ate it because we were hungry.
Cow shit and everything. Yep, you ate it with the cow shit.
Cow shit and everything. It didn't matter, but that builds your immune system. But now if you think, they're not able to play out in the dirt and the mud and everything else, and all the kids and everything now have all these peanut allergies.
Yep.
Where are peanuts grown at?
Yep, in the ground.
In the dirt.
They didn't need enough dirt. Your grandma was right. Yep,
yeah.
In the dirt.
Well, gotta eat a peck of dirt.
That is a perfect thing. We should all think about that. That's a great way. And Elite Edge says, I work in the food industry. Bacteria is a part of life. And that's true.
It is.
And your story is a great story. I think we're going to end the podcast on that. It was wonderful. Thank you so much, Mountain Man, for being a part of the B Money Benona Buck podcast number 15. Rose Clarity, thank you so much for what you do. You did all the reading again like you always do. You're amazing. And Elite Edge, thank you for being on the team, the B Money team. And anybody else who's out there listening, I hope you enjoyed it. We just kind of hang out and talk to each other. And that's what we do. So we're glad that you're here with us. And we will see you next time. You guys have a fantastic evening. Bye now.